So hello, beautiful beings, and those of you watching on replay, this will be time-stamped, so you'll be able to skip through and have a look at what you want to see. I want to welcome Aaron, first of all, and then I'll welcome everyone else that's watching. So hi, Aaron. It's so good to see you again.
Hey, how you doing? You all right?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
How's sunny Scotland?
Very sunny actually at the moment. Very, very sunny. It's like 25 Celsius. It has been for about a week. Like, it's really nice.
Nice, nice. I was going to say hello to people in the chat. So we have got the wonderful Anne Howard, and if you can let us know if you can hear us as well, everybody. So hello, Anne Howard. How are you? Katerina. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for coming. There's trouble in the chat. GVG. Right, Grumpy. And I saw Michael. We've got Michael as well. Where's it gone? There we are. Hi, Michael. And we've got Bohemian Lily. And we've got Kane as well. He has got a nice tan, hasn't he? I was thinking that. Like, I'm down south, and we've got my lovely friend George. Hi, George. How you doing? So we're here tonight. I've invited. Thanks, Anne Howard, for letting us know you can hear us. That's great. I'm going to leave Q&A to the end, if that's all right. So if you have got any questions, pop them in at the end. But I've invited Aaron on because Aaron is a creator of what I like to call Vegan Challenge 22 on crack. That's about right, isn't it, Aaron?
Yeah, if you want, yeah.
Challenge 22 on steroids. So it's the vegan switch. So that's why I've invited you on to talk about that and hopefully promote that and hopefully get some more people being mentors on there. But we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm going to ask you the question that I ask everybody. And that is, how did you go, when did you go vegan and what was the tipping point for you?
So what was that? I was a massive, flesh animal eater for many years. I mean, all my life. I'm 31 now. I literally ate meat, animal flesh every day, probably 3 times a day. I was one of them guys. Would never even thought about veganism or anything like that. And then I think it was about October 19. I'm trying to remember what happened now. I'm trying to remember the catalyst now. You put me on the spot.
I sent the questions in advance, mate.
So basically, someone told me about game changes. This wasn't about the veganism. This is about just kind of went about plant-based, and then that drew me into veganism because I heard the vegan word. I never really heard of veganism. I mean, I knew of it. So I watched some game changes. I wasn't vegan, and I knew that as well. I even said to people, I said, I'm not vegan. I'm just kind of on a plant-based diet. For some reason, I knew that. I knew what the difference was. And then I just randomly come across, and someone said, because people kept on saying, "Oh, were you vegan?" Then, I was like, "What is veganism?" And I generally didn't know too much about it, really. I looked into it, and then I come across things like I think the main one was I come across Dominion, and then I watched Dominion, and then literally overnight, me, my wife, and children, we just went vegan overnight. And I never looked back. So we literally like that, like way overnight. I learned a lot of things, obviously, from things like that. Did a lot of my own research as well, and I was like, this is mental. Was obviously upset, angry, still am sometimes. I am an angry person sometimes, but there was no questions asked. Like me, my wife, and children just went vegan overnight, and never looked back. And we will be vegan forever. We're vegan. I mean, vegans. When people say, "Oh, you're vegan for life," or veganism, that is what it is. I don't really say that anymore because if you say I'm vegan for life, it kind of entails that there's a possibility of not being vegan for life, and I don't think that really exists.
Yeah. I think you're either vegan or you're not. I agree. I watched Dominion for the first time on Saturday night on Level Joy's channel. I'd never seen it before. I've seen Land of Hope and Glory, but never seen Dominion, and it was really hard to watch. So, and that's after being
so you
vegan.
don't recently watched it?
Yeah,
You don't
Saturday
recently
night.
watched it?
Yeah, Saturday was the first time I've ever seen it all the way through. I've seen bits of it from being at Cubes and things, but never watched it all the way through. So watching it live with Level Joy and crying my eyes out live on YouTube was like a different experience. But there you go. We've got some comments here about you going vegan as well. So that you did the switch all at once and vegan for life. And yeah, definitely. And we'll just say hello to some latecomers as well. So hello Beans, thanks for coming. So what was your first form of activism after going vegan?
So probably after a few weeks, and because I was proper passionate about it, and I was just like, because I was just learning so much, and then I kept on looking at other things, and more about the industries and stuff. Because we were learning, like me and my wife, we're looking around the house, and obviously, I think the first thing, mainly the first thing, obviously, the biggest change is obviously food. I think we have food all the time, but then then we quickly like, right, what about cosmetics, stuff like that, clothing. So that obviously very quickly got learned. And then, but because we were learning all these things, I think, it didn't take me long, and it probably a few weeks, and then I was like, well, because I'm so angry, I want to do something. I didn't really know too much about activism. I started watching YouTube stuff like Joey Carbstrong was obviously one of the main ones. Earthling Ned. Saw what they were doing. Then I saw AV and stuff with Joey on Joey's channel and stuff like that. I wanted to get involved in that, and I contacted some AV. But I think probably the first thing was probably just something simple. I think I made like an Instagram page. And I made the Instagram page ImEasyVegan. Started quite small, and I think more I got more kind of passionate about it, and then met so many other people and learned that there's a lot of people who are active, and for me, any small kind of action is valid, So sometimes, me personally, there's a lot of things that I don't maybe feel comfortable with, or maybe even can do, and then there's other things you just do what you got to do, and any small action you have to encourage it. In my eyes, and it all helps.
Agree.
Every little helps, literally. So
that's something we've talked about. Yeah, something we've talked about a lot as well, because we've known each other. It's a year, I think, September. But we've always both said that all action is valid action. All activism is valid activism, whether that's wearing a T-shirt or Instagram as well, because that can reach thousands of people. You don't know how many people are seeing that, even though you might get 100 people that are like it. It could be that 1,000 people see it, and then that's something that's gone in and started the wheels turning. You never know.
Yeah,
so definitely.
So just a quick one before I forget. Gomervegan Brenner's got a good question there, and remind at the end, because I don't want we'll do it at the end, but there was something I was also gonna talk about that. I was actually talking to my wife about something about that earlier.
I think Grumpy's forgotten. I did say, Grumpy, leave the questions to the end, so remember that one if you can, because I know what your memory's like, Grumps.
Yeah, it's something I am quite passionate about, that question. So
yeah, definitely. And so what led you on to create the vegan switch? What inspired that?
Well, depends if you want the short or long one.
Short or long, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah. So I started doing things, Instagram page, and YouTube kind of come a bit later. But then I found out about Challenge 22. Those of you are unsure, Challenge 22, they're really good. I'm never going to put them down. They do amazing stuff. They encourage, they claim to say that they turn 20,000 people vegan or something like that. It's quite big numbers. So I wanted to get involved. Actually, I wanted to be like a mentor on their channel. I feel like one of my strengths is talking to people, kind of individually, and they do mentors to groups. I won't go into the huge details of how they work, but basically there'd be like groups on Facebook. So like everyone, you'll have a group of mentors, and then there'll be loads of mentees, and they kind of just talk amongst themselves. But then if you do a few, you can then be a private mentor, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a private mentor. But apparently you have to do a couple of them. So anyway, so I was doing the one, and I try and be honest. But basically, what happened was,
you can be as completely honest as you want on my channel. You know, there's no whole bars on here, so you carry on.
I don't want to, like I said, and I keep repeating myself. I don't want to. This isn't saying Challenge 22 are bad. They do amazing stuff. So it's nothing like that. I never wanted to compete with them later on. I mean, I'm nowhere near that scale with the vegan switch. But basically, it was kind of coming quite. I was quickly learning that they're very minimum on any of the ethics. That they mention as things, but not a lot at all. It's like 90% food, which isn't a problem. It isn't a problem. You know, at the end of the day, if the way I see it, everyone's different. So yeah, if there's someone who, there are individuals, although we might not like it, if there's an individual who really doesn't want to go, who's not interested in the ethics, who's not interested in animals, but then I would never ever encourage any reduction or reduce them. I would never encourage that. But at the end of the day, if someone is vegan for food, which doesn't exist, but if they're plant-based, then it's better than an animal eater. Do you know what I mean? It's better. But anyway, that was the vibe I was getting from them. That they were never mentioning anything like that, and they weren't mentioned. But they've got rules in their guidelines, and they say that you can't put anything about kind of any other topics. You can't talk about anything else. And basically, someone mentioned something about some controversial things, and it was actually an admin, like a mentor, like an admin of Challenge 22. They mentioned something about abortion,
right?
And there was like it's a controversial topic. I won't go into it, but basically, we all know it's a controversial subject. Life, pro-life, pro-choice, etc. And someone put it on there, and I was like, well, this isn't the place. This is not the place to put anything like this on apparently a group to make people go vegan. So I called it out, and I just commented something like, this isn't the place for this. It's nothing to do with veganism. And there's a lot of people out there who think it is to do with veganism. I don't think it is. Veganism, by definition, to me and to most people, vegan society, practically realistically possible to everything to harm from animals. And that's not saying animals, but I'm getting too much in the whole abortion thing. Anyway, as far as I was concerned, this was not the place to be putting it. We're trying to encourage, encourage people to go vegan, and for some people, it's a big change. Sometimes for some people it's quite scary. Like I said, for me personally, I went overnight. Sometimes people might take a week or two to kind of change. But in the day, but some people out there, it's a big scary change. They're very what's the word? A lot of learning a lot of new things, and it's overwhelming. The last thing they need is a massive controversial subject like abortion coming down on them, thinking, "Oh my god, do I need to make a choice? Does it need to be pro? If I can, am I going to get the tick in the box to be vegan? Do I need to make a choice up?" And I was like, "This isn't the place." Anyway, and then it was like argument, and I got a lot of backlash on this comment. And all I was very polite, and I just said, "Look, this isn't the place for this. The last thing mentors need, we need to get behind the mentors, the mentees on veganism, on their struggles with food, etc., which is what they were."
That's what I found. I think I became a mentor on Challenge 22. I think 2019 actually. I think I'd been vegan a while, and I went on there, and I felt like I couldn't divide my time enough between work and activism. But it was just food and recipes. There was nothing about cosmetics or animal testing or ethics or anything. It was food. And I think at the time I'd been doing AV for a little while, and I was like, I want to talk about the animals. I don't want to talk about food. But yeah.
And literally about half hour later, because that one got deleted, it got there was any kind of negative type arguments, if you will, they just get rid of it. And then someone else, another admin, bear in mind it's in their rules to not talk about any kind of other subjects. Another admin brought up something to do with I can't remember the exact story. Sorry.
Sorry?
They brought up a story about something to do with racism and about someone being murdered. It wasn't George Floyd, nothing like that. It was something else. And again, I was like, and I politely put a comment, and I said, look, with all due respect, you know, this isn't the place to be putting this. This is the last thing new mentees, you know, new people to the vegan world want to be bombarded with. And I didn't really agree with it. And like I said, I was very polite, and I said, look, I was like, I think I literally typed, I was like, with all due respect, like, this is, you know, I don't want to be controversial, but this isn't the place to be putting this. Anyway, and it was so long ago, I'm trying to remember all the details. But basically, I got shut down, and I was like, whoa. And bearing in mind, and leading up to this is right at the end of the month kind of mentorship. They do like a month, and leading up to it, and I had screenshots and stuff. All the mentees love me. They were all messaging me saying like just thank you so much. Yeah, oh, thank you, and tag me this, tag me that. And the mentors, the admins were messaging me as well, saying, oh, you're doing really good, you're doing amazing, keep it up. Anyway, etc. And yeah, and because I just said, look, politely said, look, this isn't the place for that. All of a sudden, I couldn't log in, and I was blocked from all of it. All the groups, have about 500 groups. I was just blocked, and I was fuming, and I was raging.
Didn't message you or anything. They no warning. They just blocked you.
Yeah, just got rid of me. Got rid of me, and luckily I remembered, and I think a few of the admins and even a few of the mentees to see. You know, actually, you can't be friends with the mentees like on Facebook. You know, you're not like a private interaction, which I kind of get. But a few of the other mentors had kind of added me like during the weeks coming in, so I remember their names, and I remembered some of the mentees' names. And this all happened like within like space of like an hour, and I was raging. I was like, what is their problem? And like I said, this isn't to speak negative about Challenge 22. This was just this Challenge 22 is huge. It's like a global thing. So there's like probably thousands of mentors and admins. This is just a small group, and whether the top, well, we'll get onto that actually, because something happened after. But I was raging, and I messaged a few of the mentees. I said, look. And I told them a quick story, and I was like, look, can you back me up? And they were like, that's shocking, Aaron. And these were mentees. They were like, yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, they shouldn't have been putting that on there. I messaged one of the admins. I was like, what's going on? Have you kicked me out? And she was like, oh yeah, we'll message you back soon, Aaron, or something like that. And then another one messaged me back saying, yeah, basically you were warned many times throughout the month about your behaviour, about your language, about this, about that. And I was like, what? I was like, what? And it was lies. It was absolute lies. And I just got shut down. And I told it was going to be Granddad at the time. I messaged him, and I was like, "Well," I told him the story, and he was like, "Yeah, that's bad." And he actually messaged them privately, saying like, calling them out as well, and saying, "Oh, what's this?" And they messaged back saying what they told me, like, "Oh, about how they were getting complaints from the mentees," and like I was just like. Completely lied, and they just shut me down, and they deleted all the posts. They just shut me down and just got rid of me. So yeah, and then he literally enough of that. It come to me. Well, I'm just gonna go my own way. I feel like I'm a really good mentor. I feel like I really like talking to people, helping people. So yeah, I just went my own way, and and I got a few friends to help me start it up, and then the vegan switch was born.
And it's brilliant. I wish I had time to commit, because you've asked me a couple of times. I'm like, do you know what? I feel like I wouldn't be able to commit that time, because that's why I stopped doing Challenge 22. Not because I had any issues with them at all. I don't have the time to do it. But so what's involved in not Challenge 22, the vegan switch?
So I mean, so the first thing I thought, and the reason why I had a kind of problem, and I still kind of have a problem with when people kind of just talk about, I think like food's important. We need to talk about food because people need help. Sometimes, I'm not a nutritionist, but some people do need help with that, and that's fine. But the thing is with me, if someone wants to go vegan, and if you're trying to help someone go vegan, we want being vegans, we want the world. If you want to help people go vegan, you need to talk about the animals, and the reason being is because if you don't talk about the animals, if you just talk about it as this diet, which some people think it is, and the plant-based, is interchangeable. So, you know, a diet you can change from week to week to week. Whereas if you just make that connection nice and early, no matter how many struggles you have with a diet, with a junk food, plant-based diet or whole foods, and no matter how many struggles you have, you've made the connection early on and you ain't going back. So you need to make that connection with the animals, with the ethics. So for me, we concentrate on hitting that home nice and early. Yeah, well, I can't remember the question.
What's involved in the vegan switch and setting it out? What did you do? I had to pause my phone. I had to pause my speaker because my husband decided to hoover upstairs while I'm live on YouTube. What are you doing? Just sent him a message going, please stop. He's just come in the room and gone, sorry. Yeah, what was involved in getting it all set up? What did you do first? Was it the Instagram or the website?
So yeah, at first it was just I'm terrible with like computers and things. I haven't got a clue. I'm really bad, but I know Instagram's pretty easy. So yeah, I've set up an Instagram page. So yeah, we've got a few other mentors. And thought, right, and I got them together. We did like a video chat, and I said, look, this is my ideas. I said, yeah, will you join me? And they were all on board, really nice and early on. Yeah, this is the Instagram page. Well, we need to put more time to it. I spoke to my good friend Daryl, who, yeah, those of you who ever watch Chewing the Vegan Fat, my old co-host. I've got a new co-host now. Well, we haven't done it in a few hours, but yeah, Daryl is a very good friend of mine. He's a mentor, and yeah, he's like my go-to man with the website, which hopefully we'll show later. He was amazing. Yeah. So yeah,
everyone knows I'm a massive fan of Daryl. I think I've got almost every T-shirt from Defender of Animals now.
So yeah, so basically we got together and I basically said to him, like, this is what I want. Yeah, this is how it's going to work. As in, this is how we talk to people. I like to think I like to think one of my strengths is I know how to. I'm quite a good judge of character, and I know when. I think quite early on. Even when people are doing like outreach and stuff, and literally after like 10 seconds, after a minute, after a few sentences, you can quite easily and quite quickly determine how that person needs to be spoken to. And then, if someone needs like a kind of nice approach, you can kind of go down that route a little bit. Someone, where someone else might be like, right, here's Dominion, and shove it in their face, and that will work for them. And I think. So everyone's different. I think that's what people need to realize, and that's why I guess all different types of activism is valid, because there are all different types of people, whether we like it or not.
Exactly. Like I find the same. Like when I'm on the streets, I know how I need to speak to people. I don't know. It's weird. Like I'm exactly the same. I've kind of had that talent. I don't know why. Maybe it's my catering background, because I used to sit at a table in a restaurant and I'd know whether that table wanted me to pay loads of attention to them or leave them alone or be flirty or take the mick out of some guy on the table. That was always my favorite ones, when I was just like bantering with one of the blokes on the table. And I feel it's the same when you're doing outreach. You get to know that person's body language and their use of language as well. That, the use of vocal language of how to speak to them. And if they're direct with you, then sometimes being direct with them is what works, and mirroring, isn't it? It's all about mirroring behaviors. So yeah, I agree. And you're really easy to talk to. You're really, really easy to talk to.
So I thought the first thing I'll do, we need a range of different ages, male, females, and talk and have different backgrounds for the mentors. So then when a mentee comes along, so I set up like a quick response, basically saying, thanks for coming to us. And to tell us yourself, and why you want to go vegan, and then we kind of know then, right, you'll be perfect for this. So if someone comes to us, say, maybe they're more older, they might more, maybe not necessarily, but maybe we'll pick an older mentor, for example. If they're a young female, maybe they might want to talk to a younger female mentor. Do you know what I mean? Just that type of thing. Not necessarily. I'm just saying. And if so,
But no,
someone's got a
you're
background,
right.
someone,
I couldn't talk to someone who's got kids because I don't have children. I'm not a parent, so I wouldn't have any idea
that's exactly it.
of how to
So
teach
we've
someone.
got the mentors who have kids and some who don't. So you know,
Yes.
someone comes to us and says, "I've got kids and we want to go vegan." You know, it's no good to maybe giving that mentee to someone who doesn't have kids. So yeah,
yeah, I agree.
how
many mentors have you got at the moment?
So literally about 5. Yeah, the reason being is because they're still pretty small. Like we've been going like for a while, and 100% record as well. Every single mentee has come, they've gone vegan, and I still try and keep in touch with all of them. And yeah, they all go vegan. They've all gone vegan.
And
so
you had one on your. Sorry. No, you go first.
Yeah, they all go vegan, and it works. And I said to them, so when a message comes, and now we go via the website now. So when a contact comes, I quickly get on it and I quickly read a little bit about themselves. And I'm like, right, you're perfect for this. And then basically they go their own way then, and I message the mentee back saying, what's the best way of contact? And it's all private, so it's nice and it's very what's the word? Personal. It's very personal, very private. And the first thing I say is get a video chat, get a video call, and that's what. And when I have a mentee, I've been doing the last few. I'm like, right, let's set up a video call. Yeah, if they're comfortable, which they normally are. And the reason being is, like I said before, you can get in a nice way. You can see them, you can talk to them, and you can establish how they need to be spoken to. And so yeah, if you've got some bios, and if you go down, we've got some of the testimonials of some. And if you click them, so if you click on any of them, tell you they did like a little testimonial for us. There's only 5
nice.
here. We've managed to have about, I think we've had about, this doesn't sound very lot, but I'm very pleased. We've had about probably 25 maybe mentees, and they've all gone vegan.
Do you know what? That's 25 more people that you've got to go vegan from this, that will then hopefully turn someone else vegan. So that is something to be proud about, and that is something to be to shout about. Because I don't know roughly how many people I've turned vegan. I've had a few people come back to me at a queue, but I don't know. Not all of them come back. But to have that ability to stay in contact with them and know exactly the effect that you're having. Yes, Aaron, you should be proud of that, and you should be shouting it from the rooftops. 100%.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean that. So the last one I'd like to give a little shout out to. So sorry if you just write to Jessica. So it was at the top.
That one?
Oh no, that's Jodie. So okay. Actually, no, I'd like to talk. So Jodie. So Daryl. Jodie was Daryl's mentor to Jodie. Daryl was the mentor to Jodie. I think and I think I've talked to Jodie a few times, and I think they stay in contact, and she wants to be active. So Caleb. He's amazing. He straight away, he was then messaging me after saying, "Oh, how do we get active? How do we be active?" And I was like, "This is amazing." And I'll turn into doing activism. Jessica, top left. I'm not sure if she's in the chat. She wanted to watch some. She might be in the chat. She might not be commenting.
Oh yeah, you had her on our channel recently, didn't you?
Yeah, Jessica, she's amazing. Such an amazing woman. And she got it straight away. And I did a video call with her and her husband. And if her husband's watching as well, Adam, they were watching, and he was kind of there, kind of like, oh, what's this all about? And yeah, he's vegan now as well, probably thanks to Jessica. Yeah, she just wants to be active, and yeah, she's got a huge on her Instagram, and she was literally like the day after speaking, yeah, she was putting things on her Instagram, and fair play. So yeah, big shout out to Jessica and all the other mentees, because they all seem to want to be active as well, and that's which is amazing.
And that in my eyes, that's a win-win. You've not only got them to go vegan, you've got them to go active as well, Aaron. And that goes to show the people that you've got as mentees on that page how great they are as well, and the work that they do. Because I mean, I know all the people that you've got on there, and I know they're all very passionate about animal rights, and they're definitely vegan for ethics and nothing else. And that, in my eyes, that's the only way to be vegan. So, well, I mean, I can't find my questions now because I had to message my husband to turn off the bloody Hoover. So what's the response been like then from the mentors and the mentees?
What do you mean? Sorry.
So like, how do the mentors find it? So you love it. So how does like Daryl, B, the UK vegan family?
Like, I think, I mean, I'm speaking on their behalf with the other mentors, but I genuinely don't think there's anything more pleasing to a vegan than to help someone else go vegan. Yeah, even someone who doesn't do any activism, but even to having that conversation in itself is activism in my eyes. Because, you know, if you just simply, you know, if you're gonna cook a meal for someone and then just have a little chat, oh yeah, we don't eat, you know, cow's breast milk. That in itself, to me, that's a little bit of activism. Kind of you're putting that conversation out there, and if you make, I mean, one of the main things I think everyone kind of does or talks to is to their friends and family, their close friends and family. So when they go vegan, you know how I think quite probably mobile kind of, you know, maybe talk to their family. Oh, I've gone vegan now, and they might how amazing would it be to turn your family vegan? And I think, I think everyone generally, like I said, I'm talking gibberish, but I think everyone in the chat could probably agree that if you're vegan, the most amazing thing and pleasing thing would be to change someone, especially close as well, to help them go vegan. You know, when people say, oh, like, you know, you get this whole kind of thing where people say, oh, you know we're vegan because they always tell you. It's like, well, yeah, because we're passionate, and yeah, we're going to tell you, because at the end of the day, it's part of our life. You know, like, you know, we're like I said before,
exactly.
You know,
but
like
you always know that a meat eater is a meat eater because they always talk about what they're eating. So
it's like a ridiculous thing for me when people say that. It's quite amusing, because normally they ask you, or they would bring up, for example, like, you know, are we going? I know. We'll get a steak later, and it's just like, well, yeah, I'm vegan. Oh, all right, you don't have to tell me all the time and stuff. You've just put the question out there. But no, with the mentees as well. We all get such an amazing response. And I generally get really humbled. When I talk to some of the people, and like I said, as soon as I start talking to someone, I kind of like, you can always tell if they're going to be an easy one as well, because they get it. Like, for example, Jessica, for example, like, she got all the ethics. There was a few things like she didn't know that it shocked her. With Caleb, he's amazing. He was actually worked in a slaughterhouse. I still love to do a chat with him. He worked in a slaughterhouse for a day. I think for a day, and he ran out there, and I think if I remember, sorry if I got this wrong, if you're watching, I think it was a chicken slaughterhouse, and and he ran out, and never went back, and it hit him, and he was like, I want to go vegan. And then he got hold of the vegan switch, and so because he told me that, and I was like, right, this is going to be an easy one because he's got it. All I got to do is help him. And that's kind of going on to as well. Another thing, one of the main things I tell the mentors, and we all agree on, and Daniela from UK Vegan Family, she's amazing. One of the it happened with her, and she told me she had a mentee, and they asked her. They said, "Oh, I literally, it was like very abrupt. It was like, oh, I want a food plan to lose weight or something like that." And it was like, we're not Weight Watchers. We're not a diet plan. We're very happy to help you with maybe some food in that. Very happy, and I'm not going to not help you. But the best thing that Daniela said was, "Yeah, I'll help you with that if you watch Dominion." So that's how we do it. So like, I'm very, very happy to help people with meal plans, etc. Very happy to, but only if you've got it, because I'm not gonna. We've actually turned a couple of people away. Not in a horrible way, but we're just like, look, that's not what we do. If you're not here if you don't get it, then you're not gonna go vegan, and we're trying to help you. It sounds a bit harsh. Like I'm listening to myself. It sounds a bit harsh, but
No,
it's quite hard
I
to find
agree,
myself.
and it's a way of finding out exactly if if they do, and if you say that to them, and they they get it, and they go, no, I do want to do it for the animals. They might come back later and go, do you know what? I've thought about it, and you're right, and I do want to do this for ethics and not for losing weight or not for health anymore, or the environment. So that's a good way, and also it's a good way to get the is it the wheat from the chaff? Is that the saying? I can't remember the saying.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm a big one on this. Like, don't get me wrong. If someone says to me, "Oh, they're plant-based," I'm not going to belittle them. I'm going to say, that's amazing. Do you know a bit about the industries? And then, because the reason why that is so important, I think, is because, like I said earlier, the connection is made then, and there is no reversing it. You don't make that connection, then a simple diet you would just change. You can't be trusted. You can't trust yourself. If it's just a diet, everyone does these kind of diets throughout their life. You can't trust yourself, can you? You always, I'm gonna have a cake. You can't trust yourself. So when someone says these things, like, full well that they're going to be, having the odd cream cake or whatever. Full well. So, and quite frankly, it's not good enough. If you're saying that you're in it for the animals, you're not, because you don't care. So we kind of need to make that connection, make it nice and early, and then I'll happily talk about food, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, everyone else has said the comments on here. It's not harsh. We are activists, not health coaches. You don't owe it to anyone to write them a diet plan. Ethics is everything. That's a good strategy. Yeah, everyone agrees with you, mate. Everyone, and I agree as well. So,
like I said, but I do want to hit home. Like I said, don't get me wrong. Like, for example, there's an amazing woman I'm talking to now. It's her and her husband from America. So yeah, we've gone across the seas as well. Her husband, and they've got a 9-year-old daughter as well. And so I was proper teaching them about the ethics, but they needed help with some of the food, and that's not a problem whatsoever. It's a big change. Like we said, it's a big change. Some people don't realize, how easy it is. That accident vegan things. And when someone says to me, what do you eat? Like, someone said to me over there, what do you eat being vegan? I'm like, well, what do you eat? I eat exactly the same as you. Like, I just veganize it. Yeah, my kind of meals haven't changed, so a lot of people don't realize that.
No, I always say anything.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, go on. No, you first. We're too polite.
I was just gonna say, like, when this woman, started talking about there were some health concerns, and people say, are we not vegan for health? But it is still important, and the reason why it's important is because, like you said, the biggest thing we change is the food. So you have to be aware of that. If at the end of the day, if someone doesn't do things correctly, they could possibly die, just like on any diet. So yeah, you do have to talk about it if you want to help someone. So I'm not going to belittle someone if they want to talk about health. It's not a problem whatsoever. But as long as they get the ethics, because then that it's not going to change.
So, Stephen, how come you're still not vegan? I can't believe it. Right. So there are links in the description. There's a link to the vegan switch. Stephen was on Grumpy's stream a while back. He's a friend of Grumpy's. He's an actor, not like Grumpy. He's a natural actor. So he was on there and he showed him some chicks going into the masturbator, I think I remember. And he just, click on the link in the description, Stephen, and send him a message. And I'm sure Aaron will.
I talk to Stephen quite a lot. He is vegan. I don't know what he's talking about. I know full well he is vegan. I think he's talking about things with food. Well, Stephen, hit me up. I'll tell you some simple food plans. It's not a problem, mate.
And there is a great book on how not to die, and there's also they've got a cookbook. So this is their book, but they've got a cookbook as well. And then the China Study cookbook as well is really good for whole foods if you want to get away from that. So if anyone on here who's not, I know there are some mentors in the chat, so Bee's in the chat and Grumpy's in the chat. But if there are any people in the chat that want to get involved and be a mentor, how did they do that?
So we've had loads of people. Like, I know full well that if I need mentors, I'm not going to struggle. But the only problem is we haven't got enough mentees at the moment. I don't want thousands of mentors. And what I will ask you, people who who messaged me. 100%. I'm so thankful that people want to be involved. But the one thing the first thing I want to ask from you guys would be to tell non-vegans, let's get the mentees, and when I've got the mentees, we would then need mentors. So yeah, that's kind of the only thing I need to say on that. Like, yeah, I'm so humbled. I'm 100%. If anyone wants to get involved, 100%. But at the moment, I can't be saying, oh yeah, mentors. When I need to be talking to mentees, and we need more mentees.
It'd be good to have them ready, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Because you're going to blow up.
At the moment, yeah, hopefully. At the moment, yeah, I mean, like, we're getting like one a week, like, if that. So it's not. We had a moment where there was like quite a few, and I was like, we need more mentors. But then it kind of died down a bit. Yeah. So basically, what I would say is just keep spreading the word. Would be amazing.
Yep. Like I said already, the links in the description for the Instagram page and the website. Share that everywhere. Share it on vegetarian pages as well. If there are any vegetarian pages on Facebook and Instagram, just comment on the vegan switch and tag them, and hopefully it'll push people over to you. Definitely. And what does it mean to you, Aaron, to be an animal rights activist for the animals?
You sent me these questions before, and I was struggling with this question because I thought to myself, well, it's going to sound. Let me explain myself. It's going to sound a bit weird, but it doesn't really mean much to me. And the reason why I say that is because it's quite naturally easy just to talk about what you believe in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think as much effort needs to be done to do small things, do the big thing, do some outreach, do some big things. But when I say, I don't even, in fact, scrap that, everything's big. If you doing, stickering, simple things, stickering, chalking, whatever, having to do some outreach, going to vigils, etc., making some social media accounts, sharing things, talking about things, arguing with non-vegans or whatever. Whatever you think will work, whatever you think you need to do, do it. Speak for what you believe in. At the end of the day, the animals unfortunately can't speak for themselves. So
they need us, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I said, I mean, the question again, like, what does it mean to me? Like, I think it's quite a natural thing. Anyone who's vegan, I think it's quite naturally for them to. They're obviously a very passionate, compassionate person. So, I think naturally, I actually think to the point where I know there's a few. I never really met any, but I know there are a few vegans who are they refuse to even tell people that they're vegan. Then some people are maybe a bit embarrassed or something like that. And they kind of, they're like apologists, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm vegan. But I think they're a minority. I think most of us, and probably all of us in the chat, most of us are very, very passionate, and even those in the chat who probably don't think they are, they're like, oh, I don't do any activism. And I think you do, because even, for example, you might just be a parent. That in itself is activism, because you're telling your child the truth, and you're generally saving animals by bringing up your child to know that it's pretty wrong to eat animals. So that in itself is an amazing act, I think. Bringing a child up vegan.
Yeah, I think that you and your wife are amazing, bringing up 2 little mini vegans, and your daughter is fierce. She is fierce, just like her daddy.
She does her own activism nursery. She's only 4. She tells all the kids. They even actually, she brought it up, and because the nursery are actually really good. They're learning. They're very good with her. I think she's probably the first vegan child they've had. But they've been brilliant. They told us one day we picked her up, and they said, Willow was she was telling all the other children that she doesn't eat animals, and then apparently there was like a farmer's child, and she went, I eat animals, and then. But then the nursery, which I thought was amazing, they then had like a little lesson about veganism, which I thought was amazing.
That's really good.
Probably had backlash from other parents or something, but I thought it was really good. But she's only 4, and that's the thing with children, and probably going a bit more I know it's probably coming to the end of our questions, are we? But it kind of comes back to what Grandma Vegan Granddad said at the start. And there was a question which I'm very passionate on about children and vegan children, and is it cruel, or is it is it, I can't remember what the question was now, but is it
let me see if I can find it, if it's still there. No, Grumpy, you'll have to ask it again because it's gone. I think it was something to do with when he was at the Cube at the weekend. But speaking of kids, I was out with UK Vegan Family yesterday, which was amazing to actually meet them. It was so cool. But we were on the beach with Jack, and me and Jack were doing a vegan version of Bogies. So we were going, I'm vegan. And the next, I'm vegan. And then a bit louder and shouting it on Western-super-Mare Beach. I'm sure people looked at us and we're laughing, but it was so much fun. Me and Jack were loving it. Just going, I'm vegan.
Kids know the truth. Kids literally are so innocent and so they speak the truth. When we go shopping, my daughter, she's not afraid. They're not afraid, are they, children? She'd be like, there's cow's breast milk. And they'd be, and it's brilliant. I love that. But
I kind of wish I'd gone shopping with Jack yesterday, actually, because then I love it when I hear those stories about your kids saying that, Jack, and your little one saying about cow's breast milk and stuff. Unfortunately, I think there are maybe more apologist vegan YouTubers than vocal vegans. I agree. But I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'm going to open up the floor to Q&A if Aaron's got time, because I realise he's got little ones that might need his attention. So what would you say to non-active vegans to inspire them to get active for the animals, to do something?
So the first thing I'd say is, what are your strengths? That sounds a bit weird, but what are your strengths? If you're... Everyone's different, even like I said earlier about mentees, all the mentees are different. Well, all mentors are different as well. So that's why you need a different range of mentors. So think about your strengths. Someone who is good for Trey Morrow, he told me this. He said, what are your strengths? Because they run an amazing platform as well. Just give a big shout out to Animal Activism Mentorship. They basically turn vegans to be active. They mentor. So I mentor non-vegans to be vegan, and they mentor vegans to be active. Anyway, but one of the first things he said to me, he said, what's your strength? And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, for example, you could be, I don't know, an accountant. You could just, all you do is money and numbers and stuff. Well, you could be an accountant for, I know, AV, but we won't go in there. you could be an artist. So why not do some paintings and vegan paintings, or do you know what I mean? Or do some amazing chalk work. You could be an amazing talker. So get on and do some outreach. You could be a filmmaker. Why not make a film?
You could be a musician.
Many things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So is it Queen V? She's amazing.
Yes, vegan Queen V.
And there was actually a mentor I had on Animal Activism Mentorship. And I said to her, I asked her this, I said, what's your strength? And she, what do you do? What's your hobbies? And she said she loves poetry. And I said, and it hit me straight away. I was like, write some poems. And she wrote some amazing poems, and she put them on her social media, and they're quite upsetting, but it proper hits home. And she did some poems. And I was like, how amazing is that? How unique. And just a different way to do some bits of activism,
Exactly. I had someone... Sorry, go on.
No, that's all right.
So I had someone message me about her poems on Instagram as well, and she was like, I want you to read them out on your channel. I haven't got round to it yet. And I said, well, you should be doing it. You should be sharing your poetry. And she does on Instagram, but she said she wanted me to read them out on my channel, which I have to do. I will do that because I am not, when it comes to the written word, it's not really my strength at all. That's something, especially our Animal Rights March page, all the media stuff I leave to George Martin because I know that he's really good with it. So I'm like, George, can you do this for me, please? Because I can't do it. But let's open up the floor to some Q&A. And but thanks again for coming on, Aaron.
That's right. No, sorry, just a little bit. Sorry. Just a little bit more on that last question.
Oh yeah.
So what I would say, just do your strengths. So just like you said there, if you're amazing at websites, get in touch with me, because I mean, Dal was an amazing website, so yeah, he helped me do that. So yeah, what I would say is, yeah, even if you're probably more active than what you, if you, like I said earlier, like someone might say, oh, well, I'm a bit shy, I don't do any activism. I bet you do, like, because even the tiny thing, at the end of the day, we are all different, and although I would say we all speak up for animals, at the end of the day, we are all different, and some people might generally have big anxiety problems, or big, they're very, very shy. Well, do your little things that you are strong at. Like I said, do your social media. Sometimes, if you're very outgoing and you want to be out there, get on the streets. Yeah, of course, do that. If you're a really good talker and you're very confident, if you're afraid to get caught and stuff, maybe liberate some animals. That's fine. Some people aren't doing that. So do what you think you're good at. Do what your strengths are. Every little helps in a sense. Just do what you got to do.
Couldn't agree more, Aaron. Could not agree more. So we've got Grumpy's come on. He's remembered his question, which is good, because he's got ADHD and he usually forgets what his name is. The Cube got trolled by a YouTuber, and he was saying that showing the footage can traumatize children. Would children get traumatized by footage?
Yeah, so I watched that video, and a massive problem I had with it was you needed to call him out on what he was saying, because all he was, and I went not on Dan, on the other guy's one, and I left some comments. And basically what really annoyed me about that was this guy, I don't know who he was, but basically all he kept saying, he was pointing at the TV screens, and all he was saying was it's propaganda, it's animal cruelty, because what he was saying, he was looking at hitting a pig or kicking a cow. That's not what it's about. It's not about them isolated incidents. It's not about that. I remember showing a family member Dominion, and they were like, yeah, but not all places kick animals. It's like, no, it's not about that. I don't want you to actually watch that. When I watch things like that,
it's not about the welfare. It's about the fact that they're having their lives taken away from them. That's what matters. This
guy was saying, it's, you can't be showing that. It's like, no, I'm not showing you the isolated cases of there's probably a lot of cows that get mistreated and kicked and stuff. I'm talking about the billions of animals being killed for food. That's what you need to concentrate on. It was not about. But back to that original question. Do I think it's to traumatize children? I'm very passionate on that question. Probably maybe because I've got children, but and probably quite controversial. A lot of people don't agree with me, and that's fine. I get why people don't agree with me, but I personally think that something like Dominion should be shown in schools, like genuinely. A lot of people don't agree on that. I get that. That's fine. Don't hate me for it. But the reason why I say that is because I'm not talking toddlers. I'm talking maybe 12-year-olds. And the reason why I say that is because someone says, "Oh, it will traumatize them." Yeah, of course it will. Of course it will. And there's a reason for that. It's wrong. If it traumatizes people, if you're saying, "Oh, that would traumatize children," then well, yeah, why are you doing it then? That's the whole. The thing isn't that the literal point?
At like 12 years old, that's when you start watching, like, I remember watching a horror movie when at my friend's house at a sleepover, and she'd snuck a video. This is how old I am. She stuck a video from her parents' collection, and it was, I think it was Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that. And we watched that, or it might have been Halloween actually. And we were petrified, but kids are playing really violent video games. And I know it's a video game, but they see stuff anyway. A lot of kids under a certain age, unfortunately, have access to the internet, and it's not supervised. So God knows what they see. So I don't think that it's bad to see that. And we, at our events in Bristol, we have very small screens, so you can't see them from miles away. So kids don't really see them. But when they do come up, and this is where it would have been better, not for Grumpy, I know he was knackered, but the other organisers were there at the event to say, look, if a child comes up and starts watching the screen and we think that they're too young, then we go over to them and ask them where their parents are and try and take them away. A lot of the time, kids of that age that he was thinking about, because I think he was thinking about 4-year-olds and young kids under the age of like 10 or something, they're with their parents, and their parents are going to steer them away because their parents will see it first. Because as a parent, you're really observant and watching everything anyway, because you've got to be on 24-hour watch for your bloody kid running off. So they won't see it anyway. But even though, I spoke to a father and his daughter at the weekend, and she was about 3 years old, and he had her on his hip. And George will tell you, it was such a lovely conversation. It was really, really nice. But she had a Peppa Pig balloon. And I was like, oh, does your daughter know what happens to Peppa Pig? And he said, I tell her. She knows what happens. And she was like, I think friends are animals are friends and not food and stuff like that. So kids know. And you don't have to tell them everything gory, but there are certain ages where I think they are ready for it. I agree with you, Aaron, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, on that, like, as well, like talking about like kids being like traumatized. It's like, well, but the media and culture and the world they're happily to slap sex over everything, like everything. I'm talking like music videos, etc., etc. Like what I mean by like the sex in general, videos, etc., like in music videos, etc. And it's like, but that's fine. Isn't there like there's been things. What was it like? This is going a bit off topic, but you can see what I'm getting at. Wasn't there a thing where Primark was selling like bikinis to with toddlers and stuff? But that's fine. But showing a pig being gassed so you can have a bacon sandwich is wrong. It's mental, isn't it?
It is mental. It is mental.
I genuinely don't. And at the end of the day, it traumatizes me. That's why I'm a vegan. So if it traumatizes, then yeah, it will. And if someone says, "Oh yeah, you should do that," it traumatizes children. I'm like, yeah, that's the aim. Do you know what I mean? I'm not being funny, but if it does traumatize you, then you might be a bit,
dead inside.
Well, yeah, it might be more. It might be like rowing. If someone genuinely doesn't like I said, I kind of keep going back to Dominion. This is a good example. But if someone can kind of watch something like that and not be slightly traumatized, then yeah, I'll be asking questions. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Got another question here. So, Aaron, do you have any of your work colleagues ask you curious questions about your veganism?
I've had some half decent conversations. In fact, the other day, my boss we had a really good conversation actually, and he's very intelligent when it comes to like kind of just like kind of general knowledge and just life and stuff. And we had a really good conversation. Big outreach as well actually, and I've definitely got him thinking. Because things like I was saying like do you know like 80% of pigs in this country are gassed, and he was like and then he kind of looked it up. Kelly was looking it up and he was like, and he never replied. He obviously got the answer, but yeah, I have had some really good conversations. But to be honest, it's actually very good conversations and nice conversations as well. When I say nice, I mean I've had worse ones from family. Do you know what I mean? A lot worse.
Yeah. And then Defender of Animals says, Aaron, how did you get so sexy?
Oh, shut up.
Daryl, we need to ask you the same question. I mean, like, if your ears should have been burning earlier, because everyone was just gushing over Daryl earlier on. Just saying, I've done lots of E's and we've had gobsmacked parents staring at the screen, oblivious to their children they're holding hands with. Yeah, same, Roger. I've had the same thing. And they'll make that choice of whether their child will watch it or not. I mean, a friend of mine from work said whenever she sees a truck with animals in it, her little boy asks what's happening, and she tells him that they're going to a farm sanctuary. They're going to be looked after. They're just moving places. She doesn't tell them the truth of where they're going. I'm like, why don't you tell them? They're going to be made in sausages that you can have tomorrow for breakfast. What's so, if it's okay for us to eat animals, why not tell them the truth? Vegan Something has got a question as well, I think. I find butcher shop windows disturbing. I definitely did as a kid too. Why is that okay? It wasn't a question, but yeah.
It's exactly the same, isn't it? It's literally exactly the same. It's the whole, but that's the whole discount, isn't it? When, and I put my hands up, I think probably most of us can as well. When I looked at them before as a child, a teenager, as an adult as well, I didn't see them as animals. That's the thing, is that that's the disconnect. Now, I can't look at them like genuinely, like I'm like, that's disgusting. But yeah, that's just that huge disconnect, and that's the thing we need to start teaching people, telling people, wake up.
Go back to the kids. Stupid vegan. I hate calling stupid vegan. There's a video by Vegan Gaze where there was a big carcass that would be shown across the street, This mother would tell her toddler Peppa the Pig was outside as a prank. So I just don't get it. Some people are just idiots. They're like, oh, don't watch it. It's too upsetting. And then they're telling their kids that. Because kids love Peppa the Pig, right, don't they? What is it? Peppa? What is it called? Peppa
Pig, yeah.
Peppa Pig, that's it. Here we go. Defender of Animals has got another question. What do you think of vegan options in non-vegan establishments? Like when Burger King have come out and said that 50% of their menu will be plant-based by 2031. I believe they are important.
Yeah. I know I always ask this question because me and him had a really good chat about it, and me and Daryl, 100% agree with each other. So basically, it's quite a big thing I'm passionate about. Actually, it's so important. And it's fine. People won't agree with me. I've had quite big conversations with other vegans. So basically, there's this big thing, isn't there, where people are saying, if you eat the vegan Burger King, you are not vegan. Okay. Anyway, but basically, their argument is basically because you're supporting you're giving money to, say, a company that kills animals. I get that. Of course, I get that. First of all, there's a lot of things wrong with that. So I presume that they don't go to Tesco, Sainsbury's, etc. I've done a lot of research. For a fact, just Tesco, so all the supermarkets, but just Tesco kills more chickens than KFC does. Okay.
Yep.
So there's a little fact for you. So anyway, but for me, it's about it's this whole supply and demand. So at the end of the day, I get their argument. You're kind of you're giving money to them, but at the end of the day, KFC, Burger King, etc. They're not in the business of killing animals. They're in the business of money. Okay, they're doing what the demand is. So you've got to change that demand, and we can actually see it working. Look, like Burger King, for example, they've brought out more products. They see the demand. They're going for the money. Yeah, they're doing it for greed. Of course, they're businesses. It's how the world goes around with businesses.
Yeah. So, and I've seen Roger talk about it a number of times on his streams about capitalism isn't vegan, and I get that, but we live in a capitalist world. Unfortunately, that is the world we live in, and we have to. I hope that Burger King will go 50% vegan way before 2031. I really do. If you look at Wagamama's are, I'm not sponsored, but they are my favorite chain restaurant. They have been for years. I love their fusion Asian food. I really, really do. And they've got 50% of their menu is vegan now. And how long is it going to be before they go 100% vegan? It's not going to be long at all. There's a great video.
It's so easy. Sorry, it's so easy, isn't it?
That's right.
If someone, at the end of the day, like I said, it's how the world goes around. They're going to look at they're not in the animal killing business. Okay, they're in the money business. So if you change the demand, at the end of the day, let's just look at easy example. Let's look at Burger King. If they start seeing that, the vegan sales are going up, then they're going to bring out another product, and then another product, an animal product will go down. So you've got to look at the bigger picture. If you keep, I'm not saying everyone go out there and get fat and eat Burger King. What I am saying is support it. Be happy. At the end of the day, what would you rather? Would you rather them have no vegan products? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. And for me, I think about the vegan kids that are teenagers and going out with their mates, and their mates go to Burger King or go to McDonald's because that's where kids go. It's where teenagers go because it's cheap, and that's what they've got their pocket money when they're out in town with their mates. And they're left out of that. The vegan teenagers are left out of that because they've got to sit there at the side, watch their friends eat animals, and they can't be part of it. So it's giving them an option too. But there was a great video that Joey Carbstrong did about when the KFC came out. Now, I went and they trialed the KFC burger in Bristol, and me and my husband went to go and get it, and it sold out in like 4 or 5 days or something mental. And then we went back a week later to get it. I went inside to KFC. The smell was absolutely freaking horrendous. And all I could see was body parts everywhere. I think, was that before I'd taken the pledge? I think it might have been. But all I could see were these, just body parts all over the place. And these chickens, I have a visualization of them hanging from their feet in the slaughterhouse. That's all I could see and smell. And I came out of there, I got back in the car, and I burst out into tears. And my husband said, I should have thought about that. Next time we'll go through the drive-thru and get it from the drive-thru. And yeah, it was traumatic being in there. It was horrendous. There was a woman in there, and she'd opened her chicken burger out, and taken the lettuce out and put it back together again. And she'd taken the lettuce out. I mean, the burger was good. I didn't like KFC before I went vegan, but it was all right, the vegan burger. And I get it. I get why some vegans are against it. So don't go in there, but don't have a go at vegans that do. That's all I'm saying. No one's less vegan.
Like I know there's a lot of if someone says, oh, people say, oh, I can't have a plant-based burger that that resembles or looks or even tastes or even smells like flesh. Totally get it. Me personally, I'm kind of leaning. The more as the years go by, I'm like, oh god, it tastes too much like the old real flesh. But I do love a meaty plant-based burger. I love it. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie. People say, oh, why do you eat plant-based bacon? It's like, because I love bacon. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being honest. I ate animals for nearly 30 years. So,
I didn't stop eating animals because I didn't like the taste of them. I stopped eating animals because I was against them dying.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I didn't go vegan because I didn't like the taste.
Exactly. What did Daryl think? Did he think it was important or?
Oh yeah. So yeah, he was totally agreeing. It's about changing the demand. Yeah, simple. Yeah, short answer. It's about changing demand. And this is the real world. People. It's always saying, "Oh, it's capitalism or whatever." the world goes around by money. It's a thing we have to accept. At the end of the day, if Burger King can go more and more vegan, at McDonald's or Greg's or whatever, this is the world we live in. So let's support demand, and the supply will change. It's quite simple.
Yeah, and I get the argument. There was someone on Instagram a while back saying about how the supply and demand is not going to work because they're still killing the same amount of animals, they're still breeding the same amount of animals. But at the end of the day, at some point, the government's not going to be able to bail them out anymore. It's just not going to be able to bail them out.
That's wrong anyway. That's completely wrong because I tell you now, it all goes by book statistics. If Tesco aren't selling the chickens, they're dead chickens, but they're selling something else. Because at the end of the day, I'm not buying that anymore, right? And I know that it's just one person. But the more vegans there are, if you're not buying, let's say, if you're not buying dead chickens anymore from Tesco, well, they're not going to order that many chickens from the farm or the slaughterhouse, and that means that it feeds down. They're not going to breed as many. So yeah, that's absolutely bollocks. Whatever that person said, that's literally supply and demand is a fact of life. It's otherwise there'd be no money in it. These companies.
There are dairy farms that are going out of business left, right, and centre at the moment. So, and Leora said, the vegan switch, what different countries have you spoken to regarding the switch? It's a great question.
With different countries? Oh, wow. Yeah, amazing question. Let me think. So, yeah, we've a few in America. I that might actually be, Yeah, so a few different states in America because, my good friends at Animal Activism Mentorship, they now, when they're doing outreach, they say vegan switch. Now they don't say other ones. They say vegan switch. I think that's how we've got some of the ones in the States. Oh, South Africa, obviously. Yeah, sorry, Jessica's from South Africa. Another thing I'm really interested in is when I talk to the mentees, I sometimes forget actually. I need to ask them, where did you hear from us? Just for my own kind of benefit for the future. So when maybe help with kind of getting out of there. So I think Jessica, when I asked her, I was like, how the hell did you reach us from South Africa? And I think she said someone on Instagram who I don't even think I followed at the time, they saw us and they said it. So I was like, amazing. So yeah, so word of mouth was amazing. So yeah, it was really good.
It was good. I think it's brilliant. I wish I could be part of it. Hopefully I will have time at some point.
Well, like I said, if you haven't got if you haven't got time to be a mentor, if because we don't really need mentors at the moment because we haven't got the mentees, and just helping would be telling non-vegans, and also just a quick one on if people say, oh, I don't know if I can commit that time. One thing, a huge thing I say at the start, and when we get mentors, is you don't have to commit any time because at the end of the day, if I get a mentee and I say, Billy, John, can you do this? Can you have this mentee? Oh, I haven't got time. I was fine up there. Literally no worries, no stress. If you're just there for that one time, you might be there. you might just do one mentee in 1 year, but that mentee will fit with you perfectly. So you don't have to commit any time whatsoever.
Yeah, and that one mentee might turn more people vegan as well. So
exactly,
guys, share the I'll put the Vegan Switch website in the chat again. Share this everywhere. Copy the link. Put it on your Facebook. Put it on your Instagram. Share the Instagram page as well, which is here. And if you see anyone saying, "Oh, I'm thinking of going vegan," or "I need help going vegan," put them onto the Vegan Switch. Definitely. So, vegan programmer, he contacted North Korea, but they didn't want to switch. Oh my God. Any other questions for the wonderful Aaron and ImEasyVegan? Oh, and head over to Aaron's channel and subscribe as well. I'll pop that. I think I put it in the description anyway.
Don't worry about that. I'm not, don't worry
about that. No, okay. But you're still doing your charity fundraisers, though, aren't you? Your live streaming.
Yeah. So if you, like I said, if you like me, whatever, you come and subscribe to me. But if you want. But I've done some fundraisers. We just raised about £210 for Sea Shepherd, which is really good. I think before we did, I think I raised over, I think it was about £280 in the end for some sanctuaries. We get some amazing, generous people watch the channel, so that's really good.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Any other questions for wonderful Aaron?
But girly zero, just must be nice talking to people who actually want to change. Yeah, it is very nice. And I think that's the thing. That's why like something like the Vegan Switch, even Challenge 22, they're very important, because the way I see it, someone says to me, like the reason why I'm really passionate about something like the Vegan Switch and about talking to someone, helping someone go vegan, is because if someone says to me, like someone said the other day about, having the burger from Burger King isn't liberating animals. Well, stealing a pig from, or liberating a pig from a slaughterhouse, you might be saving that pig's life, which is amazing. But you're not liberating animals. Whereas if you make someone go vegan, you're saving hundreds of animals. So literally, I think one of the biggest things you can do to save animals is helping someone go vegan.
Definitely. You help them go vegan, I'll get them active.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
We'll tag team. Go that way. I never know on this Blemming thing. It's always, that's a really nice comment from Ang Harrod. We think that you're doing what you're doing is amazing. I agree.
Thank you.
And what you're doing, Ang Harrod, is amazing as well, because you're making it accessible for younger people, which is really, really important. Definitely.
Amazing.
Any other questions at all? I think everyone's talking to a vegan programmer and about his project. Oh no, here we go. New project to present itself. Time to make potato skin. What are you all on about? There we go. That's it. I think they've lost it. I think they've stopped listening to us. They're just talking about potato skins. A message from you both is beautiful. Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, I'm vegan. I've not seen you before. I'm gonna have to check you out. Check your channel out if you've got one. But yeah, like I've said it 100 times in this stream. Please check out the Vegan Switch, share it. Let's get some more people going vegan. Let's cause a demand for more mentors on the Vegan Switch. So Aaron can go, I need more people. Get on there and share this about as well. So share this video on some, vegetarian pages as well, so they can find out more about it and they'll see how approachable Aaron is. We can talk about that later if you like. What are you talking about? You're all mental.
Yeah, so just a little quick one about how really simple it is to be a mentor. But also, so those of you who want to be a mentor, just send like a message over to the Vegan Switch or my personal one on Instagram, and just let me know, and then I'll have you there then, and then you'll be at the top of the list. But with the mentee, so how simple it is and how the website works was amazingly done by Daryl. It's just like a little contact bar, and you literally just put your name in.
Let me share that again.
The website, yeah. So it's really, really simple, and it's amazing. Actually, it's like Daryl done an amazing job on it.
That's because Daryl's just goddamn perfect. That's the problem.
So first name, last name, put email, phone number, and they can just type a little message, and then that goes. I'll get a little notification on email, and we then go from there. We can send an email back, and that's literally how easy it is. And then I always try and get back in touch as soon as possible.
Cool. And there's lots of love coming in. I know that you were talking. I know you were all listening to us. Really, I'm just teasing you all. I don't know what you're talking about, baked potato skins or something. But yeah, thanks again, Aaron, for coming on. Thanks to everyone for watching. Like I said 100 times, share it everywhere. Share this video and share the vegan switch. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like, because it helps the algorithm, and give a little comment because that helps push things up as well. But thanks again, Aaron, and thank you, beautiful beans. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.